Let's talk toys.
What's up all you D23 loving dudes and dudettes, ToyShiz here, and I got a really quick vid talking about all the different, well, let's say toys and merchandise and everything that was shown off at D23, whether it's something to buy, something being revealed, or just something fun in general. That's just kind of fun to talk about. Now in my previous videos, I have shown this particular video off. There was a display more towards the Marvel booth. They had a lot of different, they had the ToyBiz era, they also had Diamond Select and Hasbro, everything's kind of thrown into this particular case, but I think it was a nice little collection, nice little setup to have. They also had some Funko Pops and such, but I'm always really glad to see stuff like that. I think it's cool. It's like somebody's little collection in the middle of a giant con, and I liked it. But first and foremost, there was the Good Smile Company, and they had a great booth. They were showing off all their new Nendoroids. They had the Black Panther, more of like the Infinity War type style. They actually had this really cool setup where all these the minions of Thanos are running at these particular characters. It's like an add-on and such. And then you can see they have Loki, and you'll see it more in depth in just a second, but Loki actually comes with the head of Searcher, and I was kind of looking at it thinking like that would be a good accessory, well, for a Marvel Legends figure, you know, but it is actually might be in kind of scale. So you know, if you're interested in buying a Nendoroid, maybe grab the Loki figure. But they had the Iron Spider, a lot of stuff, you know, that's come out before, but now in the Nendoroid style. And oddly enough, let's say this. A lot of people were in line to not only buy things, but to take photos. And the conversation geared more towards, these kind of remind you of the old-fashioned way of you go to Disneyland and you would buy like those ceramic or those porcelain Disney Americana kind of stuff. And you got the snow globes. This is a really cool Deadpool statue, by the way. This was on display. Really nice action, really nice design and color to this guy. This is one of the best looking Deadpool, we'll say, statues that I have seen. Very, very comic booky and just perfect. It just looks great. It's a nice little add-on to your shelf. Maybe if you're interested, the back looks great, front looks great. But in talking about that story again, it's saying that this is kind of what it's going towards. People were buying the heck out of these Nendoroid figures. And I have one. It's a Super Mario Nendoroid, and I really like it a lot because Mario kind of, you know, you can do like cutesy style, whatever. It lends itself well to the whole Nintendo universe. While these aren't really my thing, man, were they being sold. Like, the people were just snapping them up. A lot of fan favorite characters. A lot of people just going berserk, nerding out on them. A lot, you know, this older lady had said, she's like, "Oh, I know Black Panther. I know that movie." You know, it's like an old grandma say that. You know, to me, that's kind of funny. They're cool looking, but again, they're not my style. I'll gravitate more towards Legends. But if you're in the mood for a really interesting, different kind of figure, they have swappable heads, hands, face plates most of the time, unless you're dealing with a whole new head. They got Mickey, they got Marvel, they got, you know, they sell Nintendo ones, and sometimes they sell them at Target as well. Look more in the video game collectibles section. Not the, like, cheap. You know, usually they run about, like, I think Target had them for $60, but then they were kind of clearance, especially for the Mario. That's how I got mine. But, yeah, they got Kingdom Hearts. Like I said, Mickey. It's cutesy stuff, but they're also action figures. So if it's going towards that, that's actually an interesting thing. They also had Toy Story, Woody. They actually had a really cool Monsters, Inc. sort of Sully setup. This is like that Searcher helmet that I was talking about over in the corner. That's a pretty cool thing. And yeah, they go from about $50 to $90, just depending on which characters, which you're kind of getting. Accessories, they do give you a whole bunch of accessories. There's the Searcher helmet. Really cool. I could see a Marvel Legends figure holding that or strapping it. It's bigger, so you could strap it to Thor, something like that. Marvel Legends, Hasbro, if you're listening, that would make for a really cool accessory to give to a Thor or upcoming Loki figure. Just saying. Jack Skellington, Nightmare Before Christmas. The Genie was actually really cool. If I had to pick one, I think that would get the Genie. That's cool. A lot of people are talking about the Disney one, and this Tangled figure is kind of rare. I don't really know that, but they had Winnie the Pooh as well, and this is the Sully figure that I had mentioned previously. I like Monsters Inc. I think it's an interesting movie. I really like the second college one. That was like my favorite. But he comes with interchangeable heads. So does Mike Wazowski. So again, if this is up your alley, if this is something that you collect, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Good Smile Company has got a lot of stuff coming. It's pretty insane. The company Stance. Now, Stance, if you're unfamiliar, they're a clothing company in the sense that they make like socks and boxers and those types of wearable items, you know what I mean? But I got to meet and talk with most of the people, and they are actually from San Clemente, California, and I know it well, and they make these incredible socks, and they're blown up. They're huge all over the world, but they have some incredible Marvel socks. They got Disney socks. They got really well-made apparel. So if you are interested, yeah, go to their website. Definitely check them out. They get good deals all the time. They had an exclusive box set with boxers and socks and everything for Fantasia, which I really like the art style. It really was some interesting colors. And as you can see right here, it's exclusive for D23. If they didn't sell out, they hadn't sold out completely during D23, they will be available this holiday season on their website if you're interested. So keep in mind, it's a limited set. They're much like figures and toys and such, they do limited runs and they kind of become collectible, believe it or not, like shoes and such. So definitely check them out. Really nice people, well-made apparel. I got a couple pairs of socks. I can't wait to try them. It's just been so dang hot. This is too hot for socks, you know what I mean? But try them on. I'll post some pictures, probably team them up with some corresponding action figures just for laughs. But they make really nice material, nice socks. People go crazy for them, like I said. Definitely go. I got a pair of the Amazing Spider-Man and the Iron Man socks, so thank you again for that. And I actually really liked these Lion King, the design on that. That looks really, really cool. Performa was there with some of their products. They had a limited edition exclusive D23 Boba Fett, and it's actually really cool. I've covered them before. They did a lot of Civil War type bottles back in the day, about a year or two ago. A lot of stuff at Vitamin Shop and such. So if you're looking for a really nice sports bottle, something for your shakes, your energy drinks, all that, definitely check out Performa. But I think this is what everyone has been wanting to see. This was the Iron Studios booth at D23. And honestly, with the setup, with their booth and what they had on display, these should have been right dead center. Like right either when you walk in or somewhere directly in the middle. The setup was incredible, and they were just tucked way off in the back. So Disney D23, this is the type of stuff that people go nuts for. They elegantly set this up. So put this directly in the middle somehow. This was like a 360 display. They had Thanos on one side. They had the Sentinel that I did a previous video on. They had Into the Spider-Verse. So I think more people would have come and seen this had they known. I love this Daredevil right here. They don't do enough Daredevil merchandise anymore, but this thing looked killer, and it's a giant statue. They had stuff from Far From Home. Molten Man looks fantastic. The detail on Mysterio looked fantastic. They just did a really nice job with these things, and they're not too big. They're more like in the 7 to 8 inch type scale. So they're not like huge display pieces, and they are but expensive, you know. If you're a statue collector, you would probably kind of gauge the amount of money that you'll be spending on these types of things. But even like the Stonekeeper, the Red Skull, I would love to see, like, that could be a really nice display for your Marvel Legends collection. He might be a little bit too big, but you put him off in the back, put him up high, he is floating. And they had these Into the Spider-Verse display, which again looked incredible. I particularly liked Spider-Man Noir and then with Spider-Ham. That was the standout statue to me. They're all fantastic, but I really feel like with the merchandise for the movie, we didn't get any Spider-Man Noir stuff and just one or two things for Spider-Ham, which is shocking. But, Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, whatever they were trying to call her, she looked good. Peter Parker looked good. I can't wait for that Medicom Toys Peter B. Parker. That thing looks amazing. Here's a little bit of a 360 for the Far From Home type statues. Again, they look great. That Molten Man looks really, really nice. Sure, it would have been great to have him just a little bit bigger, but, you can't go wrong with something like that. They had these gorgeous, larger type scale statues on display. that Thanos, man, they nailed it. They nailed Captain America. The Iron Man in particular, which you'll see in just a second, he looks fantastic. I mean, it looks like Tony Stark. The Thor, I love they gave him the gut and everything. Best representation of that particular Thor so far. People were just crowding around this place. And again, like I said, this should have been a more like centerpiece, man. Like throw them directly into the middle, make them like a hub or something because of the way their booth was set up. It was this giant, just all sides coming at you, diorama setup. That Thanos, man, that's some killer stuff. I would love to have these things. I just don't know where I would put them. But again, like I said, I already did a video on this, but just to show a couple extra photos, this is going to be their Sentinel diorama setup. So it's 3 Sentinels, and I did an interview with Marcelo from Iron Studios if you want to go ahead and check out that video. But like the artwork says, you get the Sentinel, you get all the characters, Cable. You can interchange the characters to a degree. The ones that were like on the Sentinel, those will stay, but you can pop them off. You can remove them if you so choose. And you can buy the characters separately, which is really cool. I really like they got Wolverine busting through the center chest of him. They do have an alternate arm for the Sentinel, and it's his right arm, so you can interchange that a little bit. You got Jubilee throwing up some fireworks. It's overall just a beautiful display. Mystique and Professor X off to the side. They really like that they have broken pieces of the X mansion. I think that's a big... It's a very sad, and it really creates that moment, especially when you're going to be getting all 3 of these particular Sentinels with all the characters supposed to be around 2022, something like that. Love the little photo of the original X team, the broken pieces of the mansion, just stepping every which way. You got Cyclops blasting his leg. They really just nailed it. And they don't have a price point just yet for this particular item. It's probably not going to be cheap, but come September, they will open up pre-orders on ironstudios.com. So look for that soon, and when they do, I'll post about it and everything. But I really like Rogue. You got Beast tearing up his armor and stuff off his shoulder. I think that, you know, if for some reason this thing could have lit up or something like his eyes, that would have been another great feature. But just as a standalone, the detail, the paint, everything is just spot on. You couldn't ask for a better display, and what a centerpiece for your collection, right? Like this would be, like people would come far and wide to come and see this thing. I just wish I had room for this. This would be fantastic. But of course, you also have to think about price, which again is probably not going to be cheap. I know a couple of people were thinking, oh yeah, $500-600. If I had to guess, probably more in the 8 to 12 range, just for the level of detail and everything else. I mean, if the bigger things are going from 6 to 7, this is probably going to be a little bit more expensive. But I love that Cable was always just off to the side, just waiting for the X-Men to kind of just wreck this guy. But again, you're going to have 2 other Sentinels that pair up with this, more characters. It's just an overall great thing, and took a little bit of a video just to kind of show you everything, the sheer scale of this thing. I don't know. What are you guys thinking on this particular Sentinel? For those that could afford it and everything, would this be something for your collection, your collector's room? I could see this thing in a giant glass case or just sitting right there in your nerd room, your nerd cave, you know, something like that. But again, really, really awesome. Would love it if I had the space. But then again, you know, of course, you have to think, a lot of people like articulation in their figures, their Sentinels, and Hasbro has made some. Toy Biz made a beautiful Sentinel. It's still my favorite one out of the bunch. But this one, there's just something about it. It just really screams the X-Men, and just I love what Iron Studios is doing. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little look at D23. Any of these toys meet your fancy? Any statues? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk all things D23. I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food. But most importantly, remember, for whatever reason, one booth had a giant Punisher standee up, and I just had to take a photo. I wonder if Disney even saw that. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.